Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, February 8, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night, Friday, at around 9 p.m. Eastern. Do not rely on the mind for liberation, Nisargadatta. This universe that we're in is a living existence. And it's all around us. Outer space extends far beyond what we can see with any high-tech cosmic telescope, which they can reach 13 billion light years away. This universe in particular is trillions of light years in its expanse. And everything within it is a cell structure. So it's a living, breathing experience within us. It continues deeper beyond the atomic quantum particles with our amazing yet ancient microscopes can barely see. And when we look inside ourselves on a conscious level, using our mind to explore who we truly are, what we discover is yet another realm of infinity. We compile in our minds memories upon memories upon memories, beliefs within beliefs, all stacked to infinity. For every new thought that is forming right now, there are a dozen new thoughts soon to follow. You might want to test this. Just sit down on some lazy Sunday afternoon to spiritually investigate who you really are. And you will find you can ascend and descend forever within the deepest realms of your soul, your very soul. However, what is most fascinating inside of this infinite mystery is in this relationship that's manifesting between our inner world and the outer universe. It behaves something like a perpetual reflection in a mirror. Whatever's happening within our inner world is attracting, magnetizing, and manifests that what we are experiencing in our outer world. That's why so many people are so confused, because they aren't aware that what's going on within them ends up creating outside of them. If you're in a good mood today, you're going to see happy, smiling faces wherever you go. Amazing opportunities seem to effortlessly float my way. I think we've all been in that off and on. And then if something goes wrong, we get irritated or frustrated. Some people say they have no reason why they're irritable. Everything changes. It goes the other way. Doom, gloom, everywhere. Feels like your entire life's about to collapse. See, we don't emphasize it enough. A lot has been taught about it. A lot has been talked about it throughout the ages. But we still don't embrace it. The law of attraction is unavoidable. Whatever we're feeling and feeding into emotionally on the inside is somehow always materialized into whatever we see, experience, and physically attract in our outer world. This is why it's so imperative for the civilization to go within and stay within. I know that people aren't going to be able to do that immediately, but over the course of time, through practice, it will become more apparent. Many attempts have been made throughout the ages for the civilization to go in a direction of compassion, love, acceptance for others. But it's always that one thing which we absolutely dislike and cannot stand about the other, which is reflecting some part inside ourselves that we don't care to own or accept. Sometimes we get upset with our partners, right? Or your neighbor for being too dominating, controlling, or aggressive instead of having compassion with them. It works every time. When you're in a situation of irritability, and I've done this many times, and you shift, no matter what the irritability, stress, whatever's coming in from all sides, and you just let go, and your irritability leaves, and you become super calm. Not arrogant calm, but just passive kind of, just really calm. Well, the other person may be yelling and screaming and doing this and doing that. It doesn't affect you. It almost like it passes through you. And then you'll experience that they become calm, caring, compassionate. And it's every time. So our inner world is an extension of our outer universe. And the outer world is an extension of our inner universe. So, and there's a lot of people that don't love themselves. They're not compassionate with themselves. They're not kind and gentle and caring with themselves. So when they interact with others, it usually ends in a low frequency. It's just not good. That's why so many relationships on the planet, whatever they may be, fade out, die out. Now, our inner and outer universes are never separate. Even though our physical body appears to be a completely isolated entity, it is not. We live in one sacred ocean of golden energy. There simply is just one universe that extends for infinity into the other realms, in all directions and interdimensions. So this means all the different universes, they're all connected in one golden ocean. There's just the understanding is that we contain the wet and salty qualities of the entire ocean and yet are just a single drop in it. And the oceanic waves are always moving us and flowing through us as us. There's an essential problem on this planet. Most people are having with life is that they are not reaching deep enough inside themselves to reconnect with their actual living, breathing, infinite spiritual essence. Our spiritual nature is a real thing. It is our most basic reality. It is what keeps our hearts beating, our breath breathing, and our life force moving through us in every moment of existence. We don't have to breathe because our body does it for us. The same as with our spiritual essence. It is living and creating through our physical body, unfolding its essential karmic programming within this great cosmic playground. The only way that any of us suffer, whatever it may be in this life, it happens only when the mind gets in the way. When we become overly focused on thoughts and material things that make us feel limited or time-bound, we start believing we only have limited options. The realm of the infinite fades into the background of the finite. And then we start thinking everyone is living in a very small, contracted world. When we only focus on our needs, we forget how to connect with the soul of others. If we are always thinking about money and more material possessions, we cannot see or feel the infinite reality that is beneath it all. It's like you go blind, you know. You only see certain things. Have you met people that are never, ever, ever satisfied? They're always talking about this or getting this, and they got to get this, or they're getting this, and they just found this. Okay? That's all ego mind. The majority of this rat race, in this now, is trapped in thinking about time-bound appointments, which causes consciousness to squeeze itself into tiny temporal boxes. Let's say 6 p.m. With this deadline coming, we just don't have time to feel what eternity is like. When we only live in a limited tick-tock 24-hour clock world that is consumed with resources around money and material items, we instantly start feeling disconnected from the infinite, eternal beings we actually are. This is an addictive dwelling of the mind on what is not infinite and not eternal. It is what makes us feel spiritually disconnected from every living being on the planet today. We were all born, we all entered these bodies with a limited time-bound physical body so that we could acquire a contrasting perspective and experience ourselves as the infinite eternal being we actually are. We have the capability to create, manifest, and experience anything we desire. We are all the children of a great universal consciousness, which we call on this planet God, that is impregnated with unlimited potentiality. If all this talk about the infinite is expanding your mind too much to handle today, just remember that your inner world is always impacting and manifesting something in your outer world. Every thought you believe to be true is what is creating your reality. Now, somebody, for example, could be focused on what they want. Okay, could be one thing. How they want their life to be. And they focus on this not obsessively, but they focus on it and let it go. And they spend time focusing on it. They have confidence, trust, and faith in themselves and the universe. They know it will manifest. They just let it go. Now, they're not in a position, oh my goodness, if that doesn't happen, what am I going to do? That's the mind, the ego. On the flip side, I know it will be. And you just surrender it. Our thoughts are always flowing through us and are always creating everything in our lives. We will become whatever we think in the future. You will become whatever you think in the future. To be aware of your innermost thoughts, and yet somehow remain non-attached. Our thoughts are not who we truly are. We are an eternal, infinite consciousness who's beyond form and time. We are pure awarenessness, reflecting back on itself in this physical universe of space and time. Let go of thoughts that were cycling in your mind yesterday and ideas about the way life should turn out for you tomorrow. All that, let it go. Be here now. Now is the moment of power. Now is where enlightenment is discovered. There's no other way. Many have tried different directions and different approaches. There's no other way. For physically, we are forever forced to exist in this present moment. Our present awareness is always being generated from this present moment. Know this. Live and breathe within this knowing. If you want your life to be smoother, fuller, more in touch with utter bliss, get in touch with your eternal essence. Let go of any limiting thoughts that you have and drop into the knowingness that you are an infinite soul who will never, ever, ever, ever die. If you crave for some secure life that is easy and light, give that experience to yourself on the inner world within first. Find out how to soothe yourself emotionally, giving deep, robust, tingling sensations to every corner of your body, mind, and spirit. The great experience of divinity is always available and ready to take you into the higher dimensions. Our greatest life is ready for us here, now. So you choose to open yourself up and welcome it in. You will find the infinite within the finite. Trust the process. Breathe it in. And enjoy every breath we're given. Meditation is a listening with a receptive heart. Buddha. Now, there are as many great truths in our universe as there are stars in the sky. And just like the billions and trillions of stars that exist, not all truths are created equal. This universe is just not made of black and white colors. If you look closer, you'll see colors that you don't see on this planet. Bigger truth is, the more it will expand our reality, and the smaller a truth is, the more it will shrink and contract our experience of life. Good news is that we do not have to decide what is a big truth or a small truth. Our physical bodies will let us know. For our heart is the best guide for seeing how expansive or contracted a truth actually is. Interestingly enough, whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in this life, a little miracle happens. Everything that once felt hard, heavy, stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air. We're filled with a natural, spontaneous joy inside, which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking. We experience our own source of consciousness. From there, we see life from a much more expanded perspective. And it can happen within milliseconds. And here's a really good quote on what the first lesson in the Course of Miracles. And it simply states, that which is real cannot be threatened. That which is unreal does not exist. Now, it took a long time to spiritually digest this enormous truth into their mind and root it through their life. So it's not like wham, bing, 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 boom, it's done. And the more you sit with it, the more you begin to understand. And the deeper it transforms your entire way of viewing yourself, others, and this world. That which is real cannot be threatened. Think about this. What is it that feels threatened inside you? What is this? What is this personality, this self, ego, or that the thing you call you, which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assert itself, and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you, who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important, accomplished, met in deep embrace by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep and constant separation from God, pure consciousness. Now, the good news in all this is that who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Whatever we may think of and conceive of about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who and what we are. Who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding on this planet of the mind. In this moment, and only this moment, can we find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. Now, possibly, one of the most pivotal, enlightening truths that you may discover is understanding how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. Now, if and when we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we're hanging out in some quality or version of fear. Our ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts, which it believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it is not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. Great quote from Osho. The more creativity you become, the more creative you become, the more godly you become. And when your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God, or you live in pure consciousness. Enlightenment, simply put, okay, it's realizing again and again how to remain non-identified with your ego. The enlightened state is a pure seeing understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To intimately know and become identified with the real self, that what cannot be threatened, is the only true path to total freedom there is. That's it. All other paths lead to some form of suffering. And it requires no basic standard of ethics, codes of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. We simply experience ourselves as the essence of consciousness that we naturally are. And this may be a little confusing for some. The ego is who we think we are. Now, it has some truth to it, yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth, which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness. Once we understand that ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust, that's it. How many people do you really believe actually even trust themselves, let alone anything outside of them? Whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start assessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, enlightened beings in history and the past forever. We step into the greatest experience of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. It's not just a saying. It's not just a statement. It's a truth. When we know our real nature, we can allow this life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, and enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by this life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. This state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. How do you think you can fly? Right? Sounds silly, doesn't it? Oh, that's just a bunch of gobbledygook. You need wings like a bird to fly. The moment we start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on our heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight or almost no weight. So weightless, one becomes, one can fly in the open sky. Also, do you think that that's just, what, figuratively? It's always about, we always talk about who we are not. Right? This is a path to the now. Staying in the now. Focusing and knowing that we don't have anything else. We truly have the now, the moment we're in. There isn't anyone that you can discuss this with that's, once they understand it as simple as possible, that will deny this. Not one person will deny it. They might fight it a little bit. We aren't aware that surrounding us all the time, never failing, never dissipating, always flowing around us, through us, above us, below us. It's a divine orchestra of spiritual energy and consciousness all the time. Now, many of us aren't always aware of it because our minds are so distracted and busy with all those all too important things of this physical world. It's only when everything stops from some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves. Now, this could be, let's say that you're used to many things. We're all, we get acclimated and we get used to and take for granted many things. But let's say all of a sudden you have no power. You got no computer, no phones, got no television, no iPads, nothing. Just you in total silence. Now, most people would probably freak out. But there are some people that would take advantage of that in deep gratitude. Sit and meditate and explore the God that they are within that body. We can see, feel, and taste the bigger picture when this happens. In a few brief moments, mind drops its game, and we understand how divinely perfect everything is. The divine perfection of this universe, this universal orchestra, is always on a perfect beat. It's continuously humming along, exploding into even more perfection, especially when we are in a bad mood and cannot see it or how or where it is happening. We are always within the womb of this universal beat, always connected with everyone, everywhere, in every dimension of time and space, all the time. Now, when we open ourselves up to this possibility, then each moment we are able to see the real truth. We know how every moment can only be a spiritual merging experience of universal synchronicity in our soul's destiny. Open your mind and heart to feel the connection with someone you know or would want to know. They could be very dead or very alive. Reach out to that wild, free being who is somewhere in this universe. Just do it as an exploration to possibly awaken that same wild, free being within you. Pick anyone. Where your heart would have to stretch beyond its normal limitations to open up and connect with them. Bring them into your heart space. Imagine that this individual is here now, fully available to be with only you in this moment. You can drop the doubting, skeptical mind by just focusing on the vibration and feeling of trust. Allow your heart to relax into the experience. Reach into the emotional connection you most wish to have. I believe that if we just practice this for even a few minutes, we will be surprised to find out that something magical starts to happen. Now, we may not realize the depth of the magic, which arises initially, yet stick with it. For wherever attention goes, energy flows. Whatever experience you have is what was destined to happen. Anything can happen from just this simple intention and practice to break through the limitations of our doubtful, time-bound mind. The inner journey we will have is completely worth it in the end. So enjoy it. As Ramana Maharishi quoted, how long does it take to reach liberation? It is not to be gained in the future. It is there forever, here and now. Realization is for everyone. Realization makes no difference between the aspirants. This very doubt you have, whether you are realized or not, with the notion, I have not realized, are themselves the obstacles to realization. Be free from these obstacles and see who you truly are. Pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. Or on this planet they call it God. As Yogi Bhajan quoted, when ego is lost, limit is lost. We become infinite, kind, beautiful. Now, off and on, we all have a off day, I call it, once in a great while. But see, a lot of us, you have say it's not a great day. But when that bad day turns into bad weeks, depressing months, and unhappy years, we truly need to make a change. Does it make any sense to any of us that we are here to enjoy life, not to be tortured by it? This universe is a totally magnificent playground of energy, a conscious celebration blossoming with life in all directions. Now, if and when we can see this, we can enjoy it. When we lose perspective, we sever our natural connection with this great joy. But don't fret, not all is lost. We are just taking the longer route to rediscovering the divine beings we truly are. Everything, I really don't care what it is created by us. Honor the fact that you are the one creating and perpetuating this bad mood that you could possibly be in. You're the one. There's no something out here that's agitating you or something outside of you that's irritating you. Because many people believe, well, it's something outside of me. That's what's responsible for my unhappiness. Yet ultimately, it all comes down to how we are responding. This is what happens. It's how we respond. Are we seeing it as our teacher, or are we seeing it as our enemy? Happiness is always about the lens we are looking through. Truly enjoying this life is about taking radical responsibility for the state you're in and exploring what this negative experience is teaching spiritually you. And then finding out the fastest way to let it go. Once you can say, I am the one creating this negative experience of my life, then half of the great battle is over. You take the next step towards freedom, which is learning how to step back from whatever you're resisting, fighting, judging, or hating, and see that actually it is just a bunch of thoughts. Your problems ultimately boil down to ideas that are ultimately passing through the synapses of your brain. Whatever wrong thing you think is happening out there is always happening primarily inside your mind in here. The more resistance, judgment, and anger that you've built up around this particular idea out there, the greater the joy you'll feel when you shift your relationship with it inside yourself and move on. The moment we learn how to let go of being right about how horrible something or someone is, we discover how good it feels to be wrong. You will find that this life always provides the perfect climax at the end. Take the third step towards releasing your negative mood is returning to the source of who and what you spiritually are. Truly, who and what are you? Are you your name? What others think of you? Or just physical body filled with meat, blood, and emotional bones? Perhaps there's a deeper spiritual aliveness that is real inside you. Even when you believe that you are your thoughts, then ask yourself, well then, who and what is watching and listening to them go by? You are the watcher. That's the real you. You're not any of these thoughts. You just became too close to your thoughts and got overly identified with them. The moment we return to who and what we are, this pure consciousness, this pure conscious wit, who abides at the source of thought, and we are home free. Now, the last step is truly deeply and sweetly relaxing fully into your body so that there is no tension hiding inside you anywhere. I've talked about this before, but when I was a massage therapist years and years ago, back in the 80s, I took it upon myself to learn every aspect of massage, every part of the world. And, at first, you don't connect with it until you start understanding the effects of the surrounding energies has on the body and how the mind absorbs that and replays it through the unconscious or the subconscious mind. So all the thoughts, and I would massage CEOs and all women, okay, different executive positions, and every walk of life. And it's really interesting because, I give them a questionnaire and their lifestyle and how, what they ate and everything. So I would know how their bodies were currently. So, it's so funny because some of them would say, "Oh, I'm always relaxed. I don't believe I have a bit of stress in my entire body." And they were the ones that were the most stressed. And isn't it interesting? We carry the stress, all of us, because of the thoughts that that mind puts out. When we fully relax inside, we become deeply aware beings again. It's easy to see how insignificant and fleeting thoughts actually are. It's like, you see something and then you don't. It's like 1 second you see something, right? And then you look back, it's gone. Where'd it go? When our bodies are relaxed, we can see how fleeting each thought is, how easy it is to completely change them. When you were a kid, did you ever lay down with your friends in the grass and just stare at the sky? You had no agenda. You didn't have care in the world, but you just look at the sky. And if there were clouds, you'd watch the clouds. And then the clouds would take on different shapes. So you'd play the game. What do you see with that cloud? And then one of my friends would say, "This is what I see." And then we would ask Karen, what do you see? And she'd say, "This is what I see. Look at that cloud." Completely relaxed. No evil, negative thoughts coming in at all. See, our spiritual nature takes care of us. Really does. And we can effortlessly enjoy this life, which means we have stopped dwelling on the negative. Our bad mood turns around and we see the beauty in everything. We are grateful for life again, even for the opportunity to shift out of this negative space. We appreciate, love, and enjoy this simple experience of being alive. We understand that if we cannot see God in all, we cannot see God at all. Oh, that person's too fat. Oh, they stink. Oh, look at that. That's all ego mind, all of it. I'm not saying that that is a cinch because we're so conditioned by our ego minds. But this is a definite direction to master the ego mind. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Wake up from believing this lie. The greatest lie is that you think is that you are some limited time-bound being who is not super amazing, all-powerful, and deeply connected to the greatest loving, healing source in this universe. Watch out for those thoughts which make you believe that this limited, normal human mindset is real. Be hyper-aware of the part of your brain who thinks that you are anything less than absolutely divine. All these thoughts cannot contain the grand reality of what and who you truly are. They are temporary, time-bound thoughts which are delusions and illusions of the mind. Truth is that you are an eternal spiritual being who is capable of manifesting anything that you can imagine. You have the magical power to visualize, imagine, and invent any reality you wish to experience. Let this massive limiting lie completely dissolve away today. Let it be gone for good. Return home to the truth that you are something far beyond whatever you believed you were in this limiting mind. You are an eternal, omnipresent God being who is omnipotent, has omniscient abilities, and is infinitely capable of creating miracles. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Friday, February 9, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you nor outside of you.